Hello, badgers can be a right nuisance at times. Well, they can be a nuisance all the time, and now they're really getting on my nerves. The flaming badgers have been around and dug around the asparagus bed. You can see they dug there, holes all the way in the middle, and obviously they're looking for worms in the wet soil. So these paths are bone dry, so they don't bother with that. But they know that worms are going to be in the wet soil, so this is where it's been watered. And I had it netted, but then I took the net off because the fronds are getting quite tall. So I thought I don't want them getting tangled up in the net. So I took the net off, and look, they've just dug right down. If I go down there, they've dug right down in there and all over. And the same on this side. The flaming things, and they've been here and they've done some damage to this. Well, it's bent over. I don't know if it'll recover, but flaming nuisances. Dug this up. I mean, that's a bit of manure that was down below the compost and below the mulch. Bloody nuisances. So I'll have to think of something else to go around these, because this netting that I have keeps getting tangled up with the asparagus. It's no good for that. So I'll have to do something a bit more substantial. Well, these squashes are going great guns. I mean, there's the door of the shed and there's the squashes, and they're just going all the way, and they were planted, well, you can see with the sticks, so they've come all the way along here. So that's well over 3 meters, nearly 4 meters, this long one. Yeah. And they're producing, I mean, this one, if I put my hand around it, you can see it's quite a fair size. And this Crown Prince is doing okay. I mean, there's some smaller ones over there, and it's got some other ones, you know, these are smaller ones. But they've still got time to fill out a little bit. And the jack-o'-lanterns done well. They're coming along nicely. The Physalis this year has done remarkably well outside, and you can see it's just loaded with fruit, and I've been snacking on it. So let's see, that one is probably ready. One that's ready. Look at that. It was ready, and something's gone in and eaten it. Can't leave anything for 5 minutes around here. Yes, something is discovered what Physalis is, and they are going in and eating them. So I'll go be faster at eating them. But yeah, as Taste King would say, excuse me. No, I'm not going to do that to you. I don't eat on camera. I've been brought up that way. Courgettes are still going. The squash are going gangbusters, so are the weeds, but sick of weeding this stuff. So next year, weed membrane is definite, because I'm getting sick. Come in here, weeding, come back 2 weeks later, and this is what you get. This is ridiculous. And all the manure I put in, the bindweed and thistles are really having a good time with it, instead of the asparagus. I mean, it's doing well. This is up to my chest height, so the asparagus isn't suffering, but the weeds are a problem, and of course the ruddy bindweed goes around everything trying to choke the asparagus. So I have to spend another day coming and weeding this and untangling the asparagus from the bindweed. It's a pain in the neck. But fortunately the rhubarb seems to have picked up again once the rains have come in. It's still got the red leaves, that one, but that was because of the drought. And people said, oh, it's this virus or that virus. Or it wasn't, it was just too dry. And being a new plant, its roots didn't go deep enough to get the water that was way down in the ground. But with the rains, it's picked up. Well, these three have. Little crown, those here, you know, that's gone. You can see there's signs of it, but there's no signs of it coming back up. So we'll see what it does in the spring. And I have put in a lot of wood chips over this to keep the weeds down, but thistles just come through anything. they've just come through. I mean, I put in a good 20 centimetres of mulch and the bloody things are still coming up through it. Incredible. So it was weeded, mulched, and the thistles are still coming through it. I give up. These squash plants definitely need a prune because, for example, this one, it's got that one forming on the vine, and then we've got these 3 male flowers, and there's more coming up, and if you follow it down here, there is actually female flower and a fruit starting on that one. This is now 17th of September, so middle of September. Really, this hasn't got time to develop into a full-size squash. I've checked, and all of this, I mean, it's going up the wall of the shed, so it's getting up to 4 meters. These flowers aren't necessary, so it's difficult to see what's what here. But I'm going to cut it above this squash so that all the energy, instead of going into all that, it will put its energy into this squash. And any others that are further down the line, I think that one in the corner might be off this one, or it might be off this one, I can't remember. Yes, so if I follow it, yeah, it's off this one as well. So it will go into these 2 squash rather than trying to grow that. So if I come here, now I won't cut too close to this squash, because if there is any disease gets in, I want to be able to cut it. I'm going to cut these flowers, because we don't want the flowers. And the squash is there, so I'm going to cut it about here. That way I've still got quite a bit of stalk in case a disease or something gets in. I've got space to cut it back. I'll repeat the process for the rest, and I will prune out all the flowers as well. This one is doing well, but it looks like it's had a touch of something because the leaves are going. These leaves look a little bit unhealthy. The rest of the other leaves look alright. But some of these leaves here look a little bit sickly, so I might cut those off. But it's getting to the end of the season. Yeah, the cold weather, the courgettes are coming up as well. Oh, crumbs.